You study every day. You learn every rule. You say every sentence correctly, and still you freeze when someone says, "Hey, let us talk in English." Why? Because something does not feel right. Your brain is full of grammar, but your mouth? It stays silent. In this episode, we are opening a truth many learners never hear. It is not always about being right. It is about being real. We will talk about why grammar can sometimes block your fluency, how native speakers break rules and still sound perfect, and why confidence, not correctness, leads to connection. This is not another grammar lesson. This is your wake-up call. Because perfect grammar does not mean perfect communication. Let us find your voice. The one that sounds natural, clear, and truly global. Now, let us begin. Imagine this. A young student stands in front of the class. She begins to speak in English. Her grammar is perfect. Her sentences are clear. She uses words from her textbook. Every line is correct. But something feels off. Her classmates look confused. Her teacher nods politely, but does not smile. The room feels quiet, almost frozen. Why? Because even though her grammar is perfect, she does not sound natural. She sounds like a robot reading a script. There is no feeling, no rhythm, no real connection. This happens more often than you might think. Many English learners work hard on grammar. They follow every rule. They memorize verb tenses, articles, and sentence structure. And that is good. Grammar is important. But in real conversations, perfect grammar is not always the key. Why does this happen? Because real people do not speak like textbooks. We pause. We change words. We use short forms. We laugh. We repeat. We sometimes make small mistakes. But the message still feels alive. When learners focus too much on grammar, they forget how to speak freely. They worry about every word. They stop listening. They stop feeling the moment. And that is when the conversation dies. It becomes slow. It becomes awkward. It becomes robotic. So, is grammar the enemy? No. But too much grammar, used at the wrong time, can take away your natural voice. Let us explore how these grammar traps can quietly hold us back and how to break free. Let us talk about something called the grammar trap. At first, grammar feels like a friend. It helps us make clear sentences. It shows us the rules. It helps us avoid mistakes. That is why teachers always say, grammar is important. And yes, it is. Teachers want students to speak with confidence. They want you to write emails, take exams, and build a strong base. Grammar gives structure. It makes your message correct and professional. That is why it matters in school, in jobs, and in tests. But here is the truth. Grammar is not the final goal. It is only a tool. When we treat grammar like a strict formula, it can become a cage. It can stop fluency. It can block your voice. You begin to think like this. Is this past tense? Did I use the right preposition? Is that plural? And while you think, the moment is gone. You freeze. You forget your idea. You lose your chance to speak. Many learners ask, can I speak English if I do not know grammar? Yes, you can, or maybe not. Children learn to speak before they ever learn grammar. They listen. They copy. They speak. Later, they learn the rules. Adults can do the same. You do not need perfect grammar to have a real conversation. You need to understand and be understood. Grammar should help you speak, not stop you from speaking. It is a guide, not a prison. So, use grammar, but do not let it hold the key to your voice. You listen to two native speakers talk in a cafe. One says, "I was gonna call you, but I didn't." The other replies, "No worries, I've been kind of busy too." And suddenly, you think, wait, what are they saying? Is that even proper grammar? Welcome to Real Talk versus Rule Talk. In class, we learn, I was going to call you, not gonna. We learn, I have been kind of busy, not kind of busy. But in real life, native speakers bend grammar all the time. They use short forms like I'm, he's, they'll. They skip words. They use slang and casual phrases. And still, they sound natural. They sound clear. So, how do they do it? How can they break grammar rules and still speak correctly? Here is the secret. Native speakers know the time, the feeling, and the context. They may say gonna, but they still understand it means future. They may say didn't call, and they know it is past. Their mind understands tense even when the words are soft or short. It is like music. A jazz player can change the notes, but still stays in tune. Real English works like that. It is not always about full rules. It is about how people really talk. Learning grammar helps us understand. Listening to real people helps us feel the rhythm of English. So do both. Study the rules, but also listen to how people bend them with care. You open your mouth to speak English. You know the word. You know the meaning. But then you think, wait, is it has or have? Do I say he go or he goes? And then you say nothing. This is perfection paralysis, the fear of grammar mistakes that freezes your voice. You want to be perfect. You want no mistakes. But in trying to be perfect, you lose confidence. You pause. You overthink. And sometimes, you stop speaking at all. But here's the truth. Grammar is not for perfection. Grammar is for understanding. It is a tool, not a test. When we focus too much on being right, we stop being real. And English is not just about right words. It is about connection. So how do we understand grammar instead of fearing it? Here is a simple way. 1. Listen to Real English often, podcasts, videos, everyday talk. 2. Copy the way people say things. Not just the grammar, but the sound. 3. Speak out loud even if you make mistakes. 4. Ask, did they understand me? Not, was it perfect? Understanding grammar means knowing why we use it, not fearing how we use it. So say it, even if it is not perfect. Because speaking imperfectly is better than staying silent. This sentence means, it is better to try speaking, even with small mistakes, than to say nothing at all just because you are not perfect. Many students wait until their English is perfect before speaking, but that silence stops their progress. So, this line encourages learners to speak with confidence, even if they make grammar mistakes. That is how fluency grows. You open your grammar app. It shows a red line. You made a mistake, it says. So you fix it again and again. But later, when you speak, something feels wrong. You are using correct grammar, but it sounds slow, unnatural, even strange. Let us talk about this. Grammar apps and AI tools are very helpful. They fix writing. They explain grammar rules. They give suggestions. But they focus on perfection, not on real conversation. These apps teach you how to write a perfect sentence. But they do not teach you how to speak naturally. They do not show you real-life pauses, emotion, or friendly tone. They cannot feel the rhythm of real speech. Real English is not perfect. People break grammar rules. They say gonna instead of going to. They say I'm good instead of I am well. Apps do not always teach that. They often say, that is wrong. But in real life, it is how people speak. So, what can you do? Use grammar tools for professional writing. Use them for learning. But for speaking, listen to real people. Practice with real voices. Shadow natural speech. And remember, fluency is not about fixing every small error. It is about expressing yourself clearly, confidently, and naturally. Every time you want to speak English, do you stop and ask, is this grammatically correct? That question is common, but it can become a block. Let us change the question. Try asking, can I say this clearly and confidently? This is the fluency formula. Fluency is not just about rules. It is about speed, confidence, and clear meaning. Grammar is important. Yes, but grammar is a tool, not a stop sign. When you think too much about grammar while speaking, your brain slows down. You worry. You pause. You forget what to say. But when you think in English, you connect ideas faster. You feel more natural. You focus on the message, not just the form. Let us try an example. Instead of, is this sentence perfect? Say, how can I say this in a simple way? Instead of, what is the right tense here? Ask, will the other person understand me? Grammar is not for fear. Grammar is for understanding. You learn grammar so you can see the structure, understand time, past, present, future, and build better sentences. But do not let grammar control your speech. Let it support your speech. Speak first. Learn from the experience. Then go back and improve. That is how fluency grows. Let us think of grammar as a toolbox, not a test. Many learners see grammar like a list of rules they must follow to be correct. Like a checklist. Tick, tick, tick. But here's the truth. Grammar is not a wall. It is a ladder. It helps you say things more clearly. But it should not stop you from speaking. Imagine you want to say, I no go yesterday. It is not perfect grammar. But people can still understand you. Now with grammar, you can say, I did not go yesterday. Now the meaning is stronger and clearer. Grammar helped you improve, not block. That is how grammar should feel, like a friend, not a boss. Use grammar to check your meaning. Use grammar to grow. But do not wait until your grammar is perfect to speak. Speak with your full voice and let grammar help it sound better. Let grammar support your message, not silence it. Now picture this. You are sitting in a coffee shop. Across from you, someone is speaking English. Their grammar is perfect, but their voice is flat and slow. It sounds like they are reading from a textbook. Now picture someone else. Their grammar is not perfect, but their words is alive. They smile. They use their hands. They sound real, natural. When you stop worrying about being a grammar robot, you start becoming a real speaker. You connect better. You listen better. You share feelings, stories, and jokes. People remember your energy, not just your verbs and tenses. Good grammar is important. Yes, it helps with jobs, emails, and writing. But in real life, what people want is you. They want your ideas. And when you relax, when you feel confident, your English becomes clear and strong. You do not sound rehearsed. You sound human. So speak like yourself. Remember, grammar is not a wall, it is like a ladder. So, what did we learn? Grammar is your tool, not your cage. Fluency is not about saying it right. It is about saying it clearly and confidently. You do not need to sound like a textbook. You need to sound like you. Because that is how real English works. That is how real conversations grow. And that is the voice the world wants to hear. Relaxed, confident, and alive. If this helped you think differently, tap and give us a like. Hit subscribe and bell icon button so you never miss a fresh way to grow your English. Got a story or a moment when grammar held you back? Drop it in the comments. We read everyone. And if you know someone stuck in the grammar trap, sounding like a grammar robot, help them sound human again by sharing this episode. It might change their voice too. Your journey starts here. And we speak your language. See you in the next episode.